Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with my very special friend today, Desi Pano. Welcome. And please tell me I didn't butcher your name.
No, Desi Pano is perfect. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm really looking forward to.
Now, you are a self-help mindset coach, mediator. You get into the mind of helping people.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm a mindset coach or a success coach, basically helping people get what they want out of life and how to do that. Because everything is within us. And just changing the habits and the paradigms just makes life so much better. What paradigm is, it's basically a multitude of habits that are inherited from our parents and grandparents, and that at the end of the day rules our life, and we act the way they do because of it. So it's very important to be able to break out of those patterns and be able to live your life on your own terms, basically.
That is so true. I was just at a conference yesterday, and we're talking about how our parents, our grandparents' lives affect us. It's their beliefs of don't do as I did, do as I say. Well, we as kids don't perceive that because, well, you're doing one thing, why can't we do it? Well, they're doing it so we don't make the mistakes.
Exactly. Yes. And we can't really blame our parents and grandparents because they didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. Now with science and everything, we have so many evidence that this really exists. This universe works by certain laws, and once you learn the laws and once you master those laws, then your life becomes completely different. It's just science at this point, and it's very important.
It is. We put so much emphasis on science now because it's here. We didn't have the science 60, 80, 100 years ago. We had to develop it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and it's so important. And it's basically proving that there is a force out there that's greater than everything out there, and that's creating life. And it's always flowing to and through us. And it's, we have the power to give it the direction we want to through our thoughts.
Now, I know why we went into this motivational self-help, guiding people to the light thing. But what was your, wow, this is what I need to do moment?
It was about a few years ago. I was just soul searching, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I know I had, I was supposed to help people somehow. I just didn't know how. And I kept asking the question, and I kept searching, and then I came across my mentor, Bob Proctor, who I have known since 2009, and I've followed his work. And I saw him on Facebook do a live webinar, and the moment I saw him teach it, I just I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need to get with him. And I became one of his apprentices, and he's my mentor. So I'm really grateful because he has 60 years of experience, and really experience of the best of the best. If we go back with the lineage, goes back to 1890 with Andrew Carnegie, who was the richest man in the world at the time. He hired Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, who interviewed 500 of the world's most influential and successful people. And then he mentored Earl Nightingale, who was the father of the personal development industry, and then he mentored Bob Proctor. So I have the lineage is pretty awesome, and it's the most successful people in the world, and you can't get any better than that.
No, you really can't. I mean, we have a great network of motivational speakers out there. Bob Proctor is one of the best, and probably one of the ones that's been in the business for, actually said 60 years, so probably one of the longest term motivational speakers out there. But we also have like Tony Robinson. Tony, yeah, Robinson, I think is the last name. Antonia Smith is coming up. Blazer, if you go into business coaching, you have different coaches, but they all start with Bob Proctor.
Yes, they do, and it's very interesting because he has a very interesting story, like when and how he came across this information, and he was really in a bad place when he was 26 years old, and somebody just suggested to him to read a book, and then he started reading the book, and everything started to change for him, and from like owing a lot of money, he actually started his own business.
Mhm.
And the big deal about this is that he wanted to understand what actually happened to him because everything changed in his world and he needed to know why. And thank goodness he really wanted to know why, because now all of us can benefit from it.
Exactly. We go to, okay, our deepest, darkest bottom of the pit, rock bottom that we can get to. And we have no place to go. And this is where motivational speakers start. From that rock bottom, I have nothing to live for.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's so important because it really what feeds our soul. And it's really so important just to live a like a, an extraordinary life. You wanna live within and you wanna start everything from within. So it's very, very profound. And I know a lot of people these days are struggling with finding what their purpose and meaning in life is. So I think it's very meaningful to me that I am a mindset coach that I can actually help people guide them and actually see their life transform in front of my eyes in a matter of weeks.
It is amazing to help someone
It
go
is.
from, I reached out to my mentor last night after getting home from my conference, and I said, thank you for giving me the tools I need to succeed. And he's been working with me since 2018. And, he's seen my growth. He's been watching me grow. But last night, he got to see me, or at least know about this conference that a few years ago I would have been terrified to do.
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I can see the growth in people. Like, you can actually see the physical change in their body and their faces are changing as we go through this process. It's so amazing. It's really hard to put into words, and just being able to help one person means so much to me. And I'm helping of hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, and it's really an amazing experience.
It
Just
is
doing my part to help
exactly.
this earth become a place as a paradise.
Mhm. I give so much props to my self-help gurus, because they took me from blank zero to, I was speaking to our state senate yesterday.
Wow.
I was talking to a woman who, after the talk, gave me a hug and said, thank you, you saved my life.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Yes. You get that a lot.
You do. And it's, as a self-help person, you don't think about what you're saying, how it impacts people, but you get to see the result in those people when you stay connected to them.
Exactly. And it's so important these days because with COVID and everything else happening in the world, there's so much depression, so much anxiety, and everything is a result of how we make ourselves feel and how we suppress our feeling. And then that manifests in some sort of a disorder. And, anybody that I could help, I would do it in blink of an eye. Just so meaningful to me. I really love it.
It is. And this is the thing. You're here. You're saying, come to me. I will help you. I'm giving you a tool to use. It's up to the people to use a tool, because you can be stubborn like me and go, oh, I have this tool in my toolbox. I don't know how to use it properly. And it takes me a little while to get to it. Or you have those, oh, a new shiny tool. Let's start using it today.
Exactly. And this is where the paradigm kicks in because to change ourselves we have to change our habits, and depending on how old you are, if you're much younger it's going to take you less time. If you're older it's going to take you longer time because you have so many more habitual things that you've done in your life. But basically it goes back to the paradigm, like you don't want to do it because um, your paradigm system is basically telling you not to do it because it wants to keep you comfortable where you are. wants to set that setting. It doesn't want you veering off because you're going to be uncomfortable, because you're going to be afraid, you're going to have all these thoughts. So it wants to keep you where you are, and that's a good survival tool, but not for this day and age, because we were trying to grow and trying to expand. That was good for like thousands of years ago.
Yes. I mean, we talked to psychiatrists today, and if you have a loved one with us in seeing a psychiatrist, you probably went to one of their meetings and heard we have to change. There's videos that the psychiatrists use now that are on YouTube to show you how to change your mindset. Well, it's great to get it from the doctor's point of view, but sometimes you need this extra tool. And that's our mindset coaches.
Right, exactly. Yes, that's totally true. And there's just so much to it. I mean, it's the program I coach is 24 weeks, and it's all about repetition and all about studying you. Who are you? What are your beliefs? Why do you have those beliefs? And if you change those beliefs, then your life changes and your entire, environment changes. It's so amazing to see that, because I know, because I've gone through this process myself first, and then I really fell in love with it, and I said I have to teach this to every single soul I see, or at least I have to let them know that this exists, and that present them the opportunity, and if they feel called, they can go ahead and do it. But at least I want them to know that this exists, and this is how we all are meant to live a very abundant, very prosperous, very happy life.
We are meant to be happy. We have to find our version of happy. Your version may be different from my version. Your version may be sitting on a couch watching TV, and that's what makes you happy. My version may be, I need to go hug a tree every once in a while. I'm just giving examples of different people's version of happiness.
Absolutely.
But everyone has to go to their version. They can't go to your version works for you. So I'm going to use your version of happiness. I might not find happiness in your version.
Yeah, and this is the beautiful thing, because we're all so unique. There are no two people alike. And so when you go within and you find what makes you happy, you don't look for the outside. People think, oh, once I have money, once I have the car, once I have the house, I'll be happy. But it's really not like that. Happiness comes from within, and it needs to be evoked from within, because that's where the true happiness lies, basically.
It is. Money is not what makes you happy. The things are not what makes you happy. Those are tools. You have to find how to use those tools to find what it is that makes you happy, not the
Exactly.
tools themselves.
And once you figure out what makes you happy, then everything aligns with you, and money and cars and houses flow your way. You don't even have to lift a finger. It's that simple. Everything aligns for you. Like the universe wants to give you everything.
Right.
Like everything is already here. You just have to become aware of it.
You do. You have to be aware of the energies. You have to be aware of what you're telling the universe. Are you telling the universe, I have no idea what I want to do with my life? Or are you saying, money is flowing to me constantly with ease?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so important to be very specific to the T. Like, I want this car, I want it to be this color, I want it to be this interior. You just have to be so specific, and then the universe delivers every time, and it always over delivers. Whatever you ask for, you get way better, at least from my personal experiences. When I've asked the universe for something, I always got something like totally blew my mind off. I was like, oh my gosh, I asked for something like a house, and then look at this particular thing came up. It's like, oh my gosh, the universe is so generous. And
it is. Then when it's presented to you, you have to not question it.
Exactly, and accept it.
When you start questioning the universe, it then goes away.
It's true.
Because what do? You overthink it instead of just going with it, trusting the universe to get you. You actually repel it.
Right.
And
absolutely.
then where you're at 10 years from now, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, whatever the experience was.
Absolutely. And the reason why people get like the same results year over year is because of their paradigm. They just, they think in one way, and they thoughts produce feelings, and those feelings produce actions, and the action produce the behavior. And then they keep doing like the same thing over and over again. And they wonder, why are my results not changing year over year? Because you're stuck in that cycle.
Mhm.
and you need to break out of it. And it's not hard. It just has to be done in a systematic way. And it's very profound.
Exactly. It's okay. Case in point, 2018, I had an opportunity to go speak at a school for something. I said no because I'm afraid of being up on stage. Yesterday, I'm on stage. Because why? I told the universe I want to do ABC. It gave me the opportunity to do ABC. I had to trust in myself and the universe to be able to do what I did yesterday.
Absolutely, and it's so important to trust because it's really everything out there. I've gone through similar experiences. Like I never thought I'm very introverted, or I was. I never really thought I want to be talking to people and taking part in their lives, and never really wanted to be a leader or lead with soul and heart. But when this came to me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is all the things that I never wanted to do, and now they're coming up because I'm actually good at it, and I need to improve on those things, and I
Mhm.
need to share those gifts with everybody.
It
So I'm like, okay, I'll be a leader. I'll take it. I don't know how I'm gonna become leader. I have no idea what to do, but I'm just gonna step into the power and go ahead and do it.
and exactly that's what we do. We step into this because we trust. We throw away the negative and we just trust to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, like a few days ago, I was just pondering on what is fear. Fear is doubt and worry.
Mhm.
And where is doubt and worry originating from? It originated from your negative thoughts. So fear is basically not existent. It only exists in our thoughts. And we make it so real that it petrifies us.
Mhm.
And it doesn't even exist. It's like one of those foo-foo things that doesn't really exist, like we creating it
Yeah.
upon us, and then
Yes.
we causing it to happen to us because that's what we're asking for.
See, I went through, I don't want, I said I would do this conference. I was great at the conference before then, like all leading up to it from the time I said yes to yesterday. I'm going to be a nervous wreck up there. I'm going to be a mess afterwards. I can't do this, all this negativity. And then I get there and it goes away. Why? Because I walked in the door. I said, I'm not taking any of my baggage with me through this door.
Absolutely.
And that's what you have to do, but you have to do it consciously.
Right, exactly. It is so important. And it's just a beautiful thing when you observe it. Somebody who was not willing to come up on the camera on a regular call with 100 people, and now somebody that just wants to lead. It's like amazing. It's like what a transformation in like less than a year. Like, can you imagine what's lined up and what could happen if we continue to explore this and we continue to change our paradigms and we keep working on ourselves? I mean,
Right.
this earth can become really the paradise that was meant to.
Look at your introverts in school. How many of them are afraid to get up in front of the classroom of 20 of their peers
That was
and
me.
give, me too, and give a book report or, a presentation on a volcano or whatever, it is. How many of them later on, when we get to our 30s and, up, when we change ourselves because we are tired of being in that I'm scared of everything, what do they do?
Right. They go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. What we see are so many of our introverts that we hear about. They were introverted in school. Antonio was an introvert in school, is now a CEO of a major company and a great public speaker. Rob Proctor was an introvert in school. He had his issues up until he started doing what he does. How many of our introverts have gone to lead major companies? Probably all of them.
Yeah, no, that's very true. They just break through, and they're just a perfect example, like how important it is to really live from within and really know your self-image, because we all have a self-image and we project a different image to the world. So I might be introverted, but I might portray myself as very outgoing, and you'll never know. but on the inside, I'm very shy and I'm very insecure, for example, and all that projects in my outside world. So the self-image is everything.
Mhm.
Like everything you think about yourself and every thought that you have and the negative chatter you mentioned, that comes from your self-image. And like
Exactly. And
hereditary, yes. And
it
it's so
is.
important.
And you look at what you went through as a child, and your childhood actually shapes who you are until you decide you don't want to be that person no more.
Exactly. And that starts when you're like 18 months old. Like
Mhm.
you are born and your conscious mind is open and it's absorbing everything that people are saying and talking and doing. And by the time that you're 2 or 3 years old, you're completely programmed with this programming that it's not going to serve you, but nobody else could do anything about it because that's all they knew. They
Right.
didn't know any better.
Exactly. If you live in a house that is negative, take all your negative things. I'm going to build one house with a bunch of negative things. They're into drugs, they're into alcohol, they're into abuse, they're into violence. You're observing that as a baby. So
Oh,
what's
exactly.
your mindset growing up when you're 16, 17, 18 years old? Well, it's okay here because this is my home. My home is filled with this stuff, and this is my normal. Do I want that to continue to be my normal, or do I want something more?
Absolutely, that's so important. Such a good question because I know my mom grew up with her dad being an alcoholic, and she was just he had such a profound impact on her, and just seeing the changes that she's gone through from her childhood and that how she became a fully grown woman that actually did something with her life was pretty amazing, and that her environment was not really conducive to that. And let's be honest, I mean, how many people these days are born into a normal family? Not
We
that many.
No, we don't have very many normal families. We have a lot of families that do a lot of stuff behind closed
Dysfunctional.
doors that we do not want to talk about. Well, we have to talk about it because we're changing our children into what we have behind those closed doors.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about Bob Proctor's program. It's called Thinking into Results. And I would love to teach this to like teachers and kids at school
Mhm.
because this is so important. Like I'm thinking, reflecting back, like what if somebody taught me this when I was like 7 or 8 year old? My life will be completely like I don't can't even imagine what that would have been if I knew that information that young. I'm 42 now and I'm grateful that I have found it a
Mhm.
couple of years ago. But man, if you teach this to kids, I mean, they have such a vivid imagination, and that all it takes. It always takes imagination and knowing what you really want and going for it. You don't have to
Right.
sit there and wonder how it's going to come about, and that's too big and it's not going to happen. No, again, I can't do that. No, it's not. It's just imagination and knowing what you really want and going for it. And this would be such an amazing thing for our country, for our children, for our world.
Mhm.
Like if this will start at school, because they never really teach us anything about ourselves at school.
No, they
They just
don't. They used to do aptitude tests. What are you good with? What are you going to be when you grow up? Well, I wanted to be a singer. Now, back when I was 18, I could sing. I can't sing no more. Don't ask me to. But I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to go into music. I used to play a bunch of instruments that no one knew about because I was so introverted. I still like to play on instruments. I can't do it as well, but I used to. But instead of nurturing what I wanted to do, it's no, you don't want to do that. That's a dead end job. You don't want to do something like that. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or something that makes X amount of money. You don't want to be a musician. They don't make money.
exactly. And you can make money with everything. I mean, being a lawyer and doctor is all good, but if that's not your calling, you're gonna be dead on the inside and you're gonna live a tough life because it's hard to do something that you don't love to do every single day. It's
It
really
is.
draining and taxing, and that's how people come down with depression and anxiety and all kinds of disorders.
I was in college anatomy and physiology, which is college prep for medical field, because I was told that's what I have to do. And I was good, physically good at it, but inside I was dead. I didn't love it. It wasn't what I wanted to do.
Right. Well, same thing happens. Like you listen to your parents. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, you should be an accountant. You should do something in finance.
Hmm.
Just sit in the office all day long in front of a computer, and it's gonna be perfect career." And like I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go do that now because that's how much I know."
Hmm.
And I did that. And after a couple of years, I was like, "Well, this is really not for me. Like,
Hmm.
why did I do that?" Obviously, my dad meant well. He wanted me to be well, and that's all
Hmm.
he knew. So he directed me in that direction. But the thing that he really should have said is just explore yourself and see what makes you happy and then go for it. But
Right.
nobody does that because there's no money to be made there. But how do
No,
you
of
know?
course not. I took a different approach with my daughter. I said, do what makes you happy. Show me what makes you happy. Maybe I can help you find a niche that would work, which is photography for her. And it
Nice.
works really well for her.
Awesome.
And, acting and stuff like this, that's her calling. So I've always said, do what makes you happy. Don't do
Yes.
what mommy does. You don't have to follow mommy's footsteps. You're great at editing mommy's books. Great. You're an editor at 13 because you're a little grammar Nazi. But that doesn't make you happy. What
Exactly.
makes you happy? Well, she's 18 now and pursuing photography.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, photography is such a, I love photography. It's always been, I've always been fascinated with it and always thought I want to be a photographer, but I never really pursue it. So now
Mhm.
I'm happy where I landed, but I do love photography a
Yeah.
lot. She's 18 years old.
She's 18. She's autistic. So age wise, she's 18, social wise, she's 8. So she's still under mommy's hand a little bit. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I had enough insight to say, I don't want to tell you what you should do. I want you to explore what you want to do.
exactly. Yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. Like if we all can parent our kids this way, if we can knew just better how we can serve better our children, it will make such a big difference in this world.
It does. It makes a tremendous difference.
Absolutely.
But we are almost out of time, and I want to make sure the viewers and our listeners have time to know where to find you.
Absolutely. So I have did I share those links with you earlier?
Mm, you can share them again. I think we have them, but if not, you can always give them to me a second time because we're just talking right before the show. It's an email, and we
Right.
get buried in email. So,
Yeah. I can definitely resend them. I have just a landing page with who am I and what I do.
mhm.
Um, it's called Perform Life Well /2021. And then on the same landing page, I have About Me page, and I'm explaining what I do and how I do it and why I do it. So I can definitely share those links with you if people would like to check them out. There's some good information about Bob Proctor and the programs and everything. And I feel like it's going to be beneficial for them to just read through it, just to open their mind to possibilities.
Yes, you have to read first. You don't jump into a life coach or a business mentor or anything else before you read what they do or why they do it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many coaches coming out now from everywhere. It's because like we need it.
Mhm.
Like we need like millions and billions of coaches to change this world. We
We
do need
do.
it.
We need these coaches. We need their programs, but you have to find the right one that fits you.
Exactly. You might have to go through trial and error a few times, but that's okay. That's part of the
Yes,
learning process.
you might have to change coaches 6, 7 times before you find one that resonates with you, but it's okay. There's more
Exactly.
out there.
Yes, and because you're going to be learning with every single one, you're going to be learning more and more. So it's not going to be a wasted time. It's going to be time well spent because you are developing in your growth.
You are. It just may not seem like it because you're getting frustrated. I will tell you, I'm the queen of frustration and trying different things, and I don't like to change, and I don't like trying a lot of things on. So that's me. That's my habits. But you grow with each person you bring on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do, and it's amazing how other people what kind of impact they have on you.
Mhm.
Just the way they teach you and they talk to you, like knowing like my mentor Bob Proctor, like he's so disciplined. It's like It's amazing. It's like hard to believe. And I want to be like him. I want to be disciplined, and I'm not near that. But I know that I can do it because he's doing it. And I
Mhm.
know I can do anything because my potential is limited, because my consciousness is limited. And if my consciousness is limited, then everything else is unlimited. So it's amazing.
Correct. But we are out of time. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really had fun. I love talking to you, and hope to see you again soon.
Well, we will be in contact because I always keep in contact with everyone. But for our listeners and our viewers, happy reading.